Stanisław Lasoń, Vołosi.
Krzysztof Lasoń, Vołosi z Polski. It was quite long ago in our mountains. We are not from mountains with my brother, with Stan. We are from more industrial place close to the Carpathians, and it was always our place where we spent all the time, all free time. So we fell in love in mountains, and also we fell in love with music, which was down there. So we found people, and they just amazed us. But with them, we started to do something completely new, and they inspired us so much. We started to play only with them, actually, and do something new.
We spent a lot of time in our parents' house in the mountains. I feel it as my second home. So we were around. I was very interested in music from the region, mostly traditional instruments. So I was building some kind of pastoral flutes, stuff like that. And I was looking for people to learn from. And this is how we found the one person, Mr. Wallach, in a nearby village. And so then it came with a similar period where my brother Chris, he had a wedding. And we had just an idea, why should we play at his wedding music from the tape or just, pop music? Why don't we bring to this specific place also real music from the region? And this is where we started, because then we invited them for this wedding and we truly fall in love. The name of the band is Vołosi, and I can mostly describe the band as improvisational band, because the fun part in it is that we come from two very different musical worlds. So me and my brother Chris, we are connected to modern music, to classical, contemporary way of playing. And the other three guys are totally traditional players. So we've met them. It was a big discovery for us. And we had to find through the years this common language to communicate, and this is the fun part for me.
It was not a decision. It came just from playing together. So we played like 6 years just for fun, for pleasure. And they took us to very crazy parties in the mountains, which was really something. And after the 6 years, it evolved to a band. So we started to play more seriously. It was like 13 years ago. And now it sounds more like totally new.
That's true. It's very unusual for us. Totally, and I think this is what makes it very exciting, because I personally grew up in a family which was a musical family. My father, he's a composer, my mother was pianist. So from my earliest childhood, I grew up among the sounds, among the music, and also among improvised music. So I think my best memories from my early childhood was when Chris, my brother, took his violin, my father and my mother, they played piano, and we just played with music, having fun. Then through all the years of musical education, it was quite tough. Of course, you have to learn all the techniques and stuff like that, but somehow I felt I lost the most important particle of all of it. So it naturally came that when we've met guys with whom we could only play by heart, because they don't know even notes, they don't know how to read score, it brought this improvisation to us once again, and I felt exactly the same feeling as I had in my early childhood. So I think it made it.
They are so big source of inspiration, the way as they do music, and they also find new sounds in their instruments. This is the point, not to copy any melody or any dance, but just to make a dialogue with this very deep from the heart sound. It's just only our compositions. And we also created at the concert sometimes some motifs and some melodies, which are composed, of course, but we are doing it new every time. So it's like our objective.
Mostly I compose music, but composition for me means creating melodies more, creating some harmonies, some form, rough sketch. But it has always, and this is the most important point for me, to leave the highest freedom for the rest of the band to recreate it every time from the very beginning, because it's the biggest fun I feel in this music. Also, I don't feel it would be possible to play many concerts in a row with the same program, exactly the same. This is good that we can always change it a bit. To be honest, we are not rehearsing very much nowadays because we are all the time in the tour. So it somehow evolves on the concerts, which is also great because you can get that instant, when you bring a new song, you can get that instant feedback from the people, from the audience, and also they have big influence on how it evolves. The biggest thing about this music, this particular way of playing, is how universal it is, how international it is. So we somehow like to feel those limits. I feel that there are two biggest factors that changes how we play, because we play every time different. It's what we like to do. There is the concert hall, I mean the space. It could be from a club through the real concert hall to the space in open air, which inspires us. And the second biggest factor is the audience, because truly it changes a lot. You can feel those fluids flowing in the air, and this is what makes us want to do it again and again.
The pieces are evolving. It's also the process when we're creating an album. It takes some years because the pieces are very old actually, but they always evolve and each concert brings something new. And after few years of playing together, we can leave it form an album. Yeah.
There's really big pressure when you have to enter studio and freeze a song. It's tricky for us, and though we enjoyed it a lot, it's like a moment when you make a photograph and you somehow freeze this very particular moment. For improvisational music, it's also very important to find a good place for recordings. That's what we were focusing recently, creating our new album 200 weeks ago, to have a special place, because we don't certainly feel that studio is a perfect place for this kind of music. For this time, for this album and for those videos, we decided to make everything in the region where we've met. So we are all the time in Beskid Mountains. We had beautiful place for the recordings because, as I said before, we were looking to go out of studio with it. So we were looking for many weeks to find proper place, and finally we got an old manor house which was abandoned in our region. It was quite in a state of decay, but we had big luck to be able to go there whenever we want and to stay whatever amount of time we need. I believe it's all parts of this kind of consistency that you've meant.
Yeah, I think also for our friends from the mountains, they also feel much more free when they are in their environment. It makes our conversation more easy, and I think it works very positive.
We wanted to be not limited in any way, mostly in the matter of time, just to have this kind of freedom so we can get the best of improvisational music. You can imagine how difficult it is to somehow translate improvisations from live performance to the album. So it was our biggest point, to have our magical space.